I'm very depressed. I'm Bubba. I'm Bubba the Great. I I play all the games. Oh, they won't let me play. I took. I'm the caddy now. Spencer gone. I don't know where he went. They won't tell me. This guy. Look, he got it. I don't have poster. How come they don't make me a Bob poster, huh? They leave it up to Jaws. He got to do a puppet. I is disrespectful. I will be back though. You will need me one day. And when you do, you better kiss my ass because you owe me. I play all the games. You ready? Here we go. It did it. I don't believe it.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
All right, Panther fans, here we go. Bennett is back. Yes. Now, the even better news with that is even if he's not going to be 100%, remember when Duke came back in those first 2 games and he had fresh legs and we all thought, holy crap, the dude's going to be okay? Bennett's going to have fresh legs. Now, so even if he's only at 80%, 80% of Bennett with fresh legs is probably pretty damn close to where everybody else is who's been playing really hard, tough hockey these last 3 weeks or however long he's been out. I'm looking forward to it. Now, we still have Alex lying in net. The Bruins do not have Bergeron. They just published the lines, and Anthony Duclair is still on the top line. But with Bennett in, Smith is out, and they've moved Stahl back into the 4th line. Luosterainen draws in on the 2nd line at left wing. It's the healthiest we've been. It's the best that we've been in a while. Boy, I sure wish that we could plug Hornquist into one of those spots where like Colin White or Nick Cousins is. I know it's not happening, but you know, when you went into this season, it's tough because you want Hornquist on this team. We all love the guy, and even though he's been on LTIR, the $5.3 million in his salary stopped us from going out during the offseason and getting a guy or two that could have been more depth for us. So we lose the advantage of having the money during the offseason, and then we lose the advantage of having the player. And a guy like Hornquist in this series, especially putting him in front of the net on the power play, would be huge. But we got to go with the guys that we got. Now, look, this is the game, and game 2 is usually the game, right? Because I've been watching hockey for a long time, and what I have figured out is somebody usually wins game 1. Usually somebody wins game 1. So game 2 is pretty big. How do you like that analysis, right? You can't get that kind of stuff anywhere else. This is the game. We've got Bennett back. They're still missing Bergeron. Whatever is left of the illness and the sickness that they've had, this is probably the worst it's going to be, in terms of the rest of the series. If you can steal this one, now we're talking about we've got ourselves a 7-game series. Okay? If you can't win this game without Bergeron and with Bennett back, if you can't win this one, then you're going to start talking about being really tough, because then you got to win both games at home if you want to avoid game 5 back in Boston being an elimination game. So I'm excited. I'm ready. It feels different. It feels different than the previous playoff years. I'm not feeling the same pressure. I don't know why that is. I don't know if that's because we didn't expect, most of the season it looked like we probably weren't going to make the playoffs. I don't know why. I mean, when I watch the game and everything, I'm excited and I'm sweating and my heart is going. but they're not feeling that pressure that we felt last year. They're like the pressure Toronto's feeling, right? Now the Panthers felt that pressure last year in the first round, and we kind of thought that's why they weren't great against the Capitals, but they pulled it off, and then they ran into Tampa. This year, Forsling needs to step it up. Couple of Forsling, Barkov. Okay, Tkachuk had a good game. I know he got the goal. We still need more, man. Okay, and one of Luosterainen and Lundell, you need right now. You need to grow up in front of our eyes and take the next step. We're going to need more than one guy. Tkachuk is not going to win this series. Tkachuk is not going to do to the Bruins what Verhaeghe did to the Capitals. That's not coming. Okay? We need a few more guys to step it up. Somebody on the stream said 4-3 Panthers in overtime. Let's do it. 4-3 Panthers in overtime. That sounds good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the game. This is the swing one. Let's do this. Alright, so it's no score after one. We're in the middle of killing off our second penalty. Now, the first one was just stupid on Ryan Lomberg's part, just for no reason. He just comes up and cross-checks the dude right in the back. And it wasn't like a violent cross-check, but you can't just... Why are our players just walking up to guys and just cross-checking? Why? It's not necessary. We're playing with this team. It's just fine. And then they get forced on an absolute weak tripping call. Weak call. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and say it could have never been a... But let's just call it weak. Then Barkov gets a breakaway, and I think it wasn't really a trip, but the stream is telling me, the people on the stream are insisting that it was somehow a trip. Some people think the goalie, Ullmark, tripped him. But the point to that is that Barkov needs to just bury that damn puck. Okay? He had time, just make one move and bury the puck. That's what we needed him to do in that moment. And instead, he held on to the puck too damn long, and he tried sliding in front of Ullmark. And as he's falling down, depending on whether he just lost an edge, which kind of looked to me like he just lost an edge, or if he got tripped and the referees didn't give us a weak call like they called against Forsling, wherever it was, he got off barely a shot, and he basically just put it right into Ullmark. And that's the other thing. You see Alex Lyon making all these saves, and he's moving to his left, and he's moving to his right, and he's getting with his glove, and he's got it with his stick. Ullmark is making saves, and it's just in the belly. In the belly. He's not having to move. Not having to move at all. This team can play as well as they can play, but if they don't get their shot placement better, they ain't never going to win anything. All summer long. You know, in the All-Star Challenge, where they have the targets in the net, and it's the up in the corners, these guys need target practice. Because, yeah, Ullmark is making saves. Half the saves, you don't even have to move. He just stays still, and they shoot it right into his belly like it's a friggin' bullseye. No score after one. Let's move on to the second period. All right, so, oh boy. Get your medication ready. 2-2 after 2. If you had told me it would be 2-2 after 2, I would have been just totally fine with that. Not exactly the way I would have preferred it to happen. We got to stay out of the box. Now look, all of the penalties that are being called tonight are very weak on both teams. Ryan Lomberg, all of they're just weak. They're not uneven. But of course, what does it matter, Panther fans, if our power play is so bad? Specifically, Duclair. He should not be on the ice. Great guy, played great for us last year. Don't forget, he got benched during the playoffs last year when he was healthy. Cross-ice pass right into Marchand's stick. Just cross ice into the middle of the offensive zone while you're on a power play, right on Marchand's stick. Puck's in the back of the net. And then we get some weak-ass call against Ryan Lomberg on the slashing. And it's 2-2. So it is what it is, man. I don't want it. I don't want the calls. Okay? They've had 3 power plays. We've had 2. I don't want the make-up call. Just stop calling penalties whatsoever. It's fine. I don't want the power plays. It's horrible. We're worse. We're far worse on the power play than we are 5-on-5. Decline the frickin' penalty. Now, it sure would be nice if Alexander Barkov was going to decide to show up. I think the only shot he has is that weak shot that I talked about last period. I don't think he's had any other shots on goal. How are we supposed to win games if he's not? How are we supposed to do this, right? If this is all right now, this is Alex Lyon and Sam Bennett. Yeah, it is. The defense is playing decent. You know, the goals aren't on the defense's fault, right? It's 2-2 after 2. So I said 4-3 Panthers in overtime. We're set up nicely for that. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get my medication. I'm gonna line up. I'm just gonna go to the medicine cabinet and get all of the medications because this is fixing to be. And this is the series. At least for the Panthers, this is the series. You win this game, you split at Boston. We're good. We go home. You lose this one, and it's all the woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda, all of that crap, right? I hope the next thing that you hear is either me screaming that we've won or we are going to overtime. Let's move on and see what happens. Are you? 3! Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to clap. I'm out of my mind. What do you want from me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 1, baby. That's 1. Oh. We got a tie series going back to Florida. We stole one in Boston, baby. Are you kidding me? Wow. And we just. What was that third period? Now look, if you've been a Panther fan for 5 freaking minutes, you know it's 2-2 in a playoff game on the road in Boston against the best regular season team ever. Come on. We all know what's fixing to happen, right? We all know what's fixing to happen. At best, we get that sucker into overtime before. We know. Come on. And like a minute and a half, no, it was like 30-something seconds into the period. Brandon Montour makes it 3-2, and we never looked back. We just kept scoring. Holy crap. Wow. So, lock the kids in the basement, okay? Make sure the dogs got food and water. Okay, hide the children is what I'm trying. Hide the children, because this is fixing to get nasty. This is fixing to get nasty. Because for you Tampa Bay fans, if you think you got embarrassed when you lost your first round season series after having the President's Trophy, there ain't no consoling what's going to happen to these Bruins and their fans if the Florida Panthers with Alex Lyon, if they come out and win this series, there's gonna be riots in Boston. All right. So we steal game 2. The series is on. Yes, Brandon Montour, who is just absolutely a beast all year long. And that's not something you can stop. That's based on your goaltender, okay? You can stop Tkachuk from getting in front, and you can apparently stop Barkov from doing anything at all. But if you get Brandon Montour the puck at the point, just look out. Look out, because the puck is coming, and it's gonna be well placed. Exactly what I was talking about in the previous period, where you gotta hit That 6-inch square that Stu's always talking about. Brandon Montour with 2 goals in the third period. Got to be kidding me. Kidding me. 6-3. We gave up a weak one late in the game with like a minute left during garbage time. Ticky-tack. No problem. There was fights. There was grappling. Ryan Lomberg was wrestling with Bertuzzi. I think he was trying to teach him judo. It was crazy. And then the refs just ran the 3 seconds off the clock. And said, the hell with it, the game is over. Enough. Enough is enough is enough. I think Friday, look, if you can get to the game Friday, get to the game Friday, because that is going to be crazy. Because we are going to be at home with a chance to take a series lead against the Bruins. Now, I will save this little section carved out here for the Bruins fans. Ullmark's got to be sick, right? Right? Now, I know the Panthers have scored goals against the Bruins this year. I know that. But Ullmark did not look like himself. So now, some of the goals were well placed, but he didn't look like... I wouldn't be shocked to see Swayman in Game 3, which I believe that's what happened last year. I believe Ullmark got the first 2, and then they had to pull him for Swayman. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. I think that's what Raven said. There were no more penalties called, and I'm fine with that. Look, we're always going to bitch about the refs this, the refs that. I think it was pretty even tonight. All of the calls were weak. And then we did have some penalties with the roughing and stuff later on, but it was no more power plays, I believe. Did we have to kill off? Was it at the end? I forget. Whatever it was, I'm in shock. Look, I mean, yeah, here's the prediction that I left it. It's still in the shot glass. Okay? It's still in the shot glass, the prediction preseason, Panthers win the cup. That's still there. But the other part of me in the real world, you know, were we really thinking we were going to win a game? But let's talk about the 2 biggest things. There's a few. Sam Bennett, please. I have never prayed for a man's groin before, but I'm going to bed tonight praying that Sam Bennett's groin is still okay in the morning. Because if he can do that, if only we had another center on the team, so, if only our captain could. I hate bitching about him because some people are going to come back and say he played well defensively and he had good time in the circle and all of that, and that's fine. That's good. Okay. I would like to see him get offensively involved somewhat. Okay, but that's not our problem. We can win games with Alexander Barkov not getting any points. Okay, it would be nice if he could step up. But Sam Bennett, it just changes this team because he just makes it so we can put everybody in their proper position at center. Barkov, Bennett, Lundell, Stahl. That's the way it should be. That's it's just. We don't have the depth to screw around with that. Now, the other thing is obviously Alex Lyon. I mean, he got some help. There was a post. There was a crossbar. Okay? He made some really, really nice saves. He's really, really good at sliding over to the side when, you know, if there's a pass to an open player on the side of the net. He's really good at sliding over and stopping that shot. He's really good at that. I can't say enough about this kid. Forget it. The kid can handle the pressure. Clearly, I kind of feel bad for Bubba. I'm sorry, Bubba. I kind of feel not that bad because he's getting $10 million a year. But I kind of feel bad for the dude, but not that bad. So, what else? Aaron Ekblad had a good game. Aaron Ekblad at one point, I wanted to make sure I talked about this in the recap because I watched it happen during the live stream. At one point, he was behind our net, and he got away from two Bruins who had him surrounded, and he kept the puck on his stick, got away from them, and cleared the puck out of the zone. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it really was a really, really good play, and it was just indicative of how he played. He played really, really well. Now, this wouldn't be a flying, fluffy recap if I didn't complain about something, so let's just get that part out of the way. Duke, I feel so bad because he worked so hard to come back, but I don't feel as bad as I should because he got benched last year's playoffs, because if he's not scoring, the rest of his game is not good. It's not good. And tonight, it was singularly, pretty much, responsible for one of the goals. All right? I mean, Lyon didn't even really have time to kind of think about, should I come out and cut down the angle? You got Marchand, boom, right there. That puck's probably going in the back of the net. Okay? So, Duke, and he got relegated to the fourth line again. So I will repeat here what I said on the stream. If you're going to put Duclair in the fourth line, bench him and put Dalpe on the fourth line. Because Dalpe is a fourth line player. He's not going to make stupid mistakes. He's going to be smart with the puck, which is all we need. So I understand Maurice still throwing Duke out there, even though I think now if you continue to throw Duke out there, I said on Twitter it's a fireable offense. It's hyperbole. What do you want? But the point is that I understand on one hand people saying you don't want to change a winning lineup. I get that. But Duke is hurting us at this point. It's hurting us. Dalpe at least was solidified at the bottom, but the fourth line. He's going to be smart, be good. He's not going to really get you a lot of goals. But when he was up playing, I don't know. That's all I'll say about that. I don't know if Maurice is going to have the guts to make that call. Maybe he's going to say, Duke, you're going to get one more game at home to either make something happen or stop making stupid mistakes. Maybe you give Duke one more game, but we can't have a guy that's an absolute liability out there on the ice, because he cost us tonight. And that could have easily cost us the game, and if we go down 2-0 in this series, forget about it. Who else do we see? What else? Everybody did real well in the circle. Colin White took a really big offensive zone draw in the third period and won it. I was good to see. He's never going to live up to his draft position, which is first round. Colin White's never going to be a guy that you look at and said it was a good draft pick. But he can be a serviceable player. And, when you got the other guys playing and scoring, right? When you got Bennett and those guys scoring, what you need in your bottom six, especially in that last line, is just guys going to go out there and play smart, eat the minutes, don't do anything stupid, don't screw up. And we just beat Boston 6-3. And the series is tied. And now the series has begun, because now it's best of 5. Forget those two. There's 5 games left. 3 of them are in Florida. And both times we beat Boston this year, it was in Florida. I will say that one more time. It is now a 5-game series with 3 of them in Florida, and we were 2-0 against the Bruins in Florida this year. And if they put Swayman in, I believe one of those was against Swayman, yeah, because the highlights I put in the intro were against Swayman. So I don't know what Boston's going to do, but y'all got a fight on your hands. Now, I'm sure the Bruins fans will say, you're crazy, that's the only one you guys are going to win, and that's fine. Underestimate us. You can underestimate us all the way to the golf course, because we want to win this, all right? We don't care. Not in a disrespectful way, but I can guarantee you Kachuk and those guys don't care that Boston broke the record. In fact, they're going to look at that as extra incentive. These guys are not going to be afraid of Boston. They're not going to be intimidated. You saw that out there on the ice tonight. That's it. That's it. the series is tied. I don't believe it. I do believe it. But again, the prediction is still right in there. You can see it. There's a shark. It says Jossum. And if the prediction ends up correct, we'll change it to Jostradamus. All right. Thank you all for coming out on the stream. We had 112 people by the end of the game. Spectacular. Very, very appreciative. Everybody giving out super chats. And we got new members. For those of you who are new to the channel, I do a 1-hour podcast Monday through Friday for the members and the Patreon supporters. And I write articles after the Panther games as well. Memberships start at $3 a month. Links are in the descriptions. I've been told by several people that I need to advertise the things that I have, like the merchandise and the memberships and all that. I've been told by multiple people I need to advertise that more, because basically if you watch all my videos, I never say anything. Like, people are like, you've got a membership, you've got a Teespring, because I'm not salesman-y. That's what Stu does, right? So I'm trying to work that in. So you'll notice that change. So I would do this for free if I could pay all my bills. You know what I mean? That's really all I'm like. That's where I want to. Like, can I pay my bills? Can I eat? Do the dogs have CBD? I'm good. Let's watch hockey. That's about it. So, all right. Stu and I will be back in the morning. Podcast will be out, and then Toronto, Tampa, Game 2. Hey, Toronto, you want to see the Panthers in round 2? You interested? I'm not. I want the Lightning in round 2. The Panthers need to be the ones that finish the Lightning's reign of terror over the Eastern Conference. All right. We just beat Boston 6-3 in Game 2 in Boston. Friday is going to be lit.